right, well, we are live, and we are out there on the YouTube as always. I am DJ Michael Chilson. Close enough. That's interesting. Now it comes up. I had a little song clip set up to play, and it played in my check recording, and then when I went to go start the stream, it would not come up. So, little bit of a late start here, just because we were tinkering around with that, trying to figure out what was going on. But if you guys are interested, we are on the chat, keeping an eye on things. So hopefully, if you guys have any questions, we can get started. So tonight's episode is about FX. So we're going to cover how to make your moving heads move. Last week we talked about how to start putting lighting scenes together and how that all works. So we are going to expand on that this week. Now, if you were watching live last week, you did see that we were having some computer technical difficulties, and we were having issues getting the computers to work and getting everybody to see what I was seeing. I do still plan to record that, re-record it and repost it up to YouTube. I just have not gotten to that yet. We will get to that and get that posted up there for you guys so you can figure it out. But tonight, bearing we don't have any other technical issues, I still was not able to get that other laptop up and running. I reformatted the hard drive, and again it crashed on me tonight, so there is apparently still something amiss with it. And it's getting to that age where it just might be time to retire it and look for something a little bit newer. But tonight we have a slideshow, and we're going to jump right on into it. So here we go. And as you can see, it's episode 6, FX. Again, your host, DJ Michael Chilson from Chili Sound Entertainment. So, this is pretty much the same as last week. So the way we think about lighting scenes is layers of a cake. And as you stack up those layers, they create your cake. So as we look at colors and your brightness and your gobos and movement, and then other programs that your light fixtures are capable of, those are the layers. And then within the movement layer, we can create more layers. So the way this works is, if we picture this as your room, and you decide you want your light to go from here to there, to in the center, to the other side, and then back here, these are the 5 steps of movement that your light needs to go to. Now, each one of these steps has a particular XY coordinate. Now, if you revert back to, your high school algebraic math years, you know that you have a plus level on the X and a minus level on the X and a plus level on the Y and a minus level on the Y. Well, if you were to draw a big target bullseye, lines across the middle of the screen and vertically and horizontally, that's your XY movement. So each one of those positions indicates an XY value of where that light head needs to be in relation to its 0 point. And it's important to know where your light's 0 point is, and if you have multiple moving heads, that all of their 0 points are in the same spot or in the same orientation to each other. That's really important to know if you want your lights to behave in a very similar fashion. So the other little tidbit of information about this setup and about how this works is now we know our XY points for steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we also need to know that we're moving between those steps. So we want to either snap to that point. So we want to either just jump from 1 to 2, or we want to fade from 1 to 2. So the way we accomplish that is we tell it a time. So we want it to go from step 1 to step 2 in so many milliseconds. Step 3 or step 2 to 3 in so many milliseconds, 3 to 4 in so many milliseconds, and 4 to 5 in so many milliseconds. So this is how we build our lighting programs to move our lights. We start with one scene and we program the light, and we go to the next scene and we program the light, and we go to the third scene, fourth scene, and so on. And then in a compiler, we tell it, okay, I want you to go from scene 1 to scene 2, and I want it to take you so long to get there. So I know, so the XY coordinates of scene 1 are sent to the light, and then the computer knows, okay, well, it's so far between the XY coordinates of scene 2 and the XY coordinates of scene 1, and this is how long I have to get there between those two. And the computer does a little bit of calculating and figures out, okay, I need to go this far, this fast, and that's how I get there. So that's how we build our light scenes. So the shorter the amount of time, the faster the light gets there. So if you want big, dramatic light sweeps up with your lighting software, and I'm trying to computer 3, 2, all right, well, I guess this is the only one I got that works that way. Yeah, so let's go this way. There we go. Sorry, I got lots of cameras and not the one that I really want. So if you want to have a big dramatic reveal where your light beams slowly do this up across your audience, you want to put scene 1 would be the lights down, and scene 2 would be the lights up, and then you tell it that you want it to take like a minute or 30 milliseconds or however long to make that transition to get the lights to come up in a real big dramatic sweep. Now, the other step to that, and there are a couple of caveats to this, is we can automate a lot of this stuff. So you can take groupings of lights and get them to go to a particular scene, or to program your scene based on that grouping of lights. So you can say, okay, I want to do a fan array of these lights, and I want you to start here and then fan every so many degrees for each of these lights to create that array, and that's step 1. And then you go to step 2 and do the same thing, and then that gives you your big wide, array of lights that pan from the floor to the ceiling or from the ceiling to the floor. Now, the nice thing with this is if you program a scene that does one of these, you can reverse it by reversing the steps. So if you go 1 to 2, they go up. If you go 2 to 1, they come down. So if you program your lights in logical movements or logical steps and name them logically so you can find them again later, you can do a lot of really cool things if you set your lights to do certain things together. Then you can program those lights to recall those scenes in any sequence that you want and make them go in up, down, left, right, whatever you want to do. And it's just a matter of arranging those cards or steps in a sequence that meets what you're trying to accomplish. So we're going to look into that now. So we're going to go into the lighting laptop here. This is the DJ laptop running my lighting software. So we're going to go into our functions, and I started creating one here called movement 1. And now this is an effect. This is an effect. Now this is grouping the lights and going to a predefined movement. Now we'll try to show you the other way of doing this, and I don't know if it's going to let me, but I will give it a shot. I'll give it the good old college try. So what we're looking at here is we've got our 4 mini spots, and I've got a position mode, which is what I want to affect. I want to affect the position, and then I can tell it a start offset. So now what that means is when I click over here to the movement tab, you can see this little dot with a 1 in it going around in a circle. Now if I go to the lights, all 4 lights are going to do this pattern together. They're going to all go in a circle in one big unit. So there are times where that's really great to have happen, and there's times where I kind of want light beams going everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here to my general tab, and I'm going to put each light 90 degrees out of phase. So we're going to do 90, 180, 270. Now, the more lights you have, the lower your degree can be. And then if we come back to our movement tab, now you can see that all 4 lights are in a different position based on your XY coordinate. So here's your XY. So this is your X-axis, this is your Y-axis. This would be positive Y, negative X, positive X, positive Y. Or no, positive Y, negative X, positive X, positive Y, positive X, negative Y, negative Y, negative X. So you can adjust where your offsets are, and I think you can even, so you can adjust the shape and size of your circles. So you can go more, more center beam, more out beam. Now, the reason why we move this around is based on how we have our fixtures mounted. So if we switch back over to, let's see here, so the quad screen, and we click. I got 2 different mouses here, so it's going to stick with me a minute. There we go. And then we need to click back. And then I should be able to let's do 2 screen. Boy, that's really awful, isn't it? Yeah. We'll have to make it work. I should. Okay. So up here on the upper side of the screen now, you can see that the moving heads are moving. Let's see if we can get a little light on that shoot. Go on. All right, well, All right, so there you go. Now you can see it. So what I basically just did is I went into my virtual panel and I turned the lights on, and then I went back to a second page and I programmed this button to put the movement on that we were just playing with. So now that I can come back in here and I can edit this on the move and make it go where I want. So let me switch you back to that one. And then we'll add another video source. We're going to add existing. And we're going to do computer, I think. Nope. We'll just do new add window capture. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're... no, it's not gonna let me. Really? You're not gonna let me edit this live? Really? Really, you're not? No, it's not doing anything. What happened? Did my lighting software lock up? I think my lighting software might have locked up. Let's... hold on. Alright, let's try that again. This does work, I know it does, it's just being temperamental at the moment. Oh, hey, there's one of the control windows that you don't normally get to see. So this was one of the windows for the ArtNet. So when you launch your visualizer, this pops up showing you your ArtNet. It's kind of an important window to have. And... what did we... oh, we lost our movements, that's why. Okay. So now we can come back in here to our program. So now, in this particular instance of my light rig, I have all the lights set up on the ceiling. Or set up on the top side of the truss. Did we lose it again? What's going on here? Yeah, we lost it again. I don't know why it keeps turning off, but it's being cantankerous. Okay, so, I mean, all of our lights are on the top of our rig, right? On the top of our lighting rig. So right now, they're all kind of shining on the ceiling. I mean, it's okay, but it's not necessarily the effect that we're looking for. We want all the lights to be focused on the audience. Why does that keep turning off? This is really strange. It keeps shutting off that... and I'm not doing it. I'm not turning this off. For whatever reason, it keeps shutting that off and not looping continuously. It's getting kind of on my nerves. Oh, run order. That's probably a part of it. It's getting... so all the lights are going around and then it stops. Duh. Alright, anyway. So we want to move this... this image, this loop that it's running, the pattern, so that all of our lights are getting to our audience members and not shining on the ceiling. So we want to make our loop run more like this, where we're shining the audience members, and then we can come in and we're going to go, okay, well, we're getting there, but we're not quite there yet. Okay, and that's even better. We're happier with that. And then we're gonna bring it down a even more. So that now our loops are running, or our pattern's running, shining back and forth across the audience. Now we can change our circles, we can change our patterns and do all kinds of crazy things, And it's the same concept. We can change where in space this is located. Then we can turn it and rotate it and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Now this is the automated effects. And you can also come in and you can say, okay, I want to do the RGB position as well, and change the colors and all kinds of different things. But for right now, we're going to just look at we're looking at this pattern where it's going out and coming back, and going out and coming back, and going out and coming back, and repeat and, reuse. So that's the first way of doing it. So we'll go back here to our lighting PC. So we want to stop that, right? And then this is so this is one of the other great features about QLC Plus, is you can edit live while you're running a light show. So you can go in here and say, okay, well, I want to create a new button. So I click on this live editor. And then I want to come in and I'm going to make a new button. All right, we're going to edit our button. And we're going to call it Movement 2. And we don't have a function yet because we haven't made it. And we could program it to a button on our controller, but I have my controller set up for my buttons and I'm not going to play with it for right now. And then we come in here and we're going to go, okay. Well, we're going to do that dramatic pan up. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that dramatic pan. So I'm going to come into my scenes and I'm going to create a folder. And I'm going to call it, rename. We're going to call it X movement, because this works much like a Windows file system. So it's alphabetical. So when you do X, it goes to the bottom. When you do zeros or numbers, they come to the top. And then inside that folder, we're going to create a new scene, and hopefully, yep, scene, cool. So we got our new scene. We're going to add some fixtures, and we're going to come into the Microspot mini group, and we're going to click OK. And then we're going to come in to our Microspot 1, and then we got to come back to our quad screen. Right, and we gotta, all right, so we want our colors first off. So we want to know where this light is. And right now, all right, I don't know. Okay, so I guess apparently you can't do this live. We're having slight technical difficulty with that, which just might be the way I'm trying to do it. So I've set my light to white, and actually I'm going to set it to red so it's a little easier to find on the screen. And actually we're going to go back to this. Okay. And let me drag this down to this corner this time. And resize it a little and drag it there. All right, so there you go. You can see the lighting screen there with the light, and we can see our where our light is, or our controls for our light, our DMX channels. So this is our DMX channel for just this red light, right? So we don't want to set the scenes for any of our lights, or for any of our colors. We just want to set the scene for our light. or for our movement. So we want to position the light and then turn the light off as far as what color you're seeing, and just keep the movements. So I want to set my light at so we're going to set it at 127 for now. 127. Yeah. Dang it, and I took my, really? There we go. All right, I'm sorry. Multiple keyboard issue. I always get those stupid keyboards confused. Now the pan, we're okay with it being at 0 because it's low, and when you go up, you go all the way around. So we want to find kind of where we want to end at, which is going to be somewhere around 56. So we're not going to program for that one per se for right now, but we're going to program for it later. So now last week I showed you the awesome little copy current values to all fixtures button. So we're going to use that button and we're going to select it, and now we can see that we get all 4 of our moving heads at the level that we want. And we're going to turn off our red, and we're going to recopy that. So now we have our movement, and it's set to 0, or it's set to our low spot. So we can come in here and we can tell it, dramatic. I'm not the world's best speller, so it might be spelled wrong. Dramatic opening low, right? So dramatic opening low, that's what we want that to be. So now we can come in and we can go, okay, we want to clone that because it's got the lights in it that we want, and we've already got some of the settings set up. So why not just, work off of what we've already done instead of recreating the wheel? And we can go, hi. And now we can come in here and we can go, okay, now we want you to be at 56, right? That's what we said. And we turn our red back on. And yep, we're up at 56. So that's where we want to be. And we close that and we copy all of those programs, or all of those values, to all 4 lights. So now, no matter what light you go to here, they're all at 127 and they're all at 56. So we've got our basic setup ready to go, right? So cool. So now what we do is we're going to do a new sequence. So we come in here to our sequence, and we're going to put it in our X movements folder. So instead of it being under the one that it's in, we got to move it. We got to get it up a level. All right, so it's not wanting to go where I want. So we're going to X out of that. So now we're going to click on our, all right, I guess it's, all right, so it's asking me for a new scene. So it's going to apparently make the steps in the scene for us. So we're going to say movement. Movement. There we go. All right, now we're going to create a sequence. We're going to create a sequence under our movement. So let me... Oh, really? Interesting. All right. So I need to get this a little lighter, bigger, so I can see it. There we go. That's a little better. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here. Well, maybe not. Okay, maybe this made the liar out of me. We can definitely do it the way I was starting to do it, but this might be a little better to do. A little easier. So we're going to go to 127, 0. So that's that. Yeah, so this is the correct way to do it. So you did your steps, right? So remember our steps where we were saying we could go from one to the next and make our sequences? Well, this is our sequence. So we go from there to there, and then we're going to come in and we're going to say, okay, I want to go to 56, and then we copy that to all 4 fixtures, and then we step. Now we can do a loop. And now we're going to tell it, okay, what's our fade in speed, what's our fade out speed, and what's our step duration. So what the step duration is how long do I stay at each step. The fade in speed is how long does it take me to go from step 1 to step 2. And then my fade out speed is how long does it take me to come out the other side. And actually we're going to do ping pong. So it's going to go up and then come back, and then go up and then come back. And that's going to be our sequence. So we're going to go, our fade in is going to take 30 milliseconds. All right, why is it fighting me here? Come and hold. Okay, default, there we go. So our fade in is 30 milliseconds, right? And our step duration, come and hold, is going to be for 60 milliseconds. So it's going to hold for about a second, and it's going to take a half a second to transition from one step to the next. At least that's the hope. So we can close that, and we've got our steps set. So now we can come back here to our virtual button, and we can program our button to be that scene. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to come to movement, and then we're going to come sequence. And we're going to click OK. We're going to hit OK. So now, if we come back to our lighting computer, and we switch to our other page, we start this up and make it live. We come in here and we turn our mini spots on, and we make them white. Then we come to page 2 and we do our movement. Now you can see that our movements are way too fast, so we got to go back and change those. But we can come back into our function and our sequence, and we can click on this, and we can go, okay, we want our fade in time to be 30 seconds. 30 seconds. We're going to make that 0. seconds, and we want our hold time to be 1 minute. Alright, and we close this. We come back into our virtual editor, and then we can do our movements. And so now it's slowly panning down, and then it'll get to the bottom and hold for a minute, and then slowly pan up. Now the reason why I program without doing the colors is because then I can switch channels. See, come back here, and then I can go blue, green, red, whatever color I want. So I'm building my layers of my cake. So I do the movement layer separate from the brightness, separate from the colors, separate from the gobo. So then I can stack all of those layers back together again with control buttons to get the effects that I want. So if I want to change the gobo, I should be able to, there you go, you can see them, barely. You can change the gobos. If I want to do strobing, I can do slow strobe, slow strobe, medium strobe, fast strobe, white strobe. I can control whatever I want to control with my buttons while my movements are doing their own thing on the background. So that's a basic breakdown of our movements, and we're having a little better luck tonight with our lighting software and our laptop working together, and everybody's kind of happy and playing along. So we'll take a look. We'll go back and take a look at the visualizer a little bit, and then like if you wanted to so you want to do your arrays or your fans, you can do that. And I forget, be under the general tab. There is a way, and it's escaping me at the moment. But there is a way you can create the auto fan where it automatically will fan out the lights for you. New chaser. I think it was under the effects. Oh, yeah, it is under the effects. Ha, ha, ha. Yes, it is. It is under the effects. So what you do with your effects page to do... move the wrong one. Come on, window capture 2. There we go. Move you to the other side. So I want to do a linear fan on my lights, right? So we're going to switch back. Let me just... dang it. Grabbing the wrong one. There we go. Move that up. We're going to switch back to our virtual console. We're going to stop, and we're going to say, yes, we want to stop. And then we want our lights to go to 0. Or to our default, whatever we're at. And we come into our function, right? And we're going to go to our general page, and we're going to add our 4 mini spots. Okay. And then our offset we're going to leave alone because we're going to do it here. So we're going to do a line. Actually, I want... Oh no, that's right. A line. And then our rotation is going to be 45 degrees. So we get our nice horizontal line. Yeah, that's still not... It's still not really the command I want. it escapes me at the moment where you get that at, but there is a way. Maybe it's in here. Maybe this is what I'm looking for. So we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and this, and okay. Functions. No, that's not what I want either. GP matrix? Maybe this is what I'm looking for. No, I don't think that's it either. Oh, where are you? I know you're in here. I know there's a way to do it. I just, it's escaping me at the moment on how you do it. Maybe that's it. Hold on. That might be it. Is that what I'm looking for? What are your positioning tool for moving heads and scanners? Okay, well that's what I want. But you're not doing nothing. I gotta be live for that? No. So you pop up. And the color thingy pops up. But you don't do anything. I don't think it's in here, but maybe. No, it's not in there. I know it's not in there. That's gotta be it, but it's not. It's not activating. Ah, there it goes. Alright, so that wasn't what I was looking for. Parallel, serial. Yeah, it's got to be in here. This has got to be it. Sorry, I guess I should have researched this a little bit before coming on the air tonight. 20. So we're going to do 60, 90, 120, 150. All right, so there we go. So now we can adjust it. So we really want this to be 40. Really, we'll go 50. Just on the edge. And then this one we need at like 120. Actually, if we change these to 0, I think that offset. So basically what you do is you just get it to where you want it and then just hold it infinitely. And then you can... There should be a better way of doing this. I'm not familiar. I apparently am not familiar enough to know where that positioning, where that correct way of doing this is. But that seems right. So, anyway, that about wraps it up for tonight. I hope you guys had a great night. As always, I am DJ Michael Chilson. You can catch me here on YouTube every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We are almost done with our lighting. We're pretty much wrapping it up. We're going to reshoot, like I said, episode, I believe 3 or 4. I believe it's either the one with the visualizer or even the fixture this. We're seeing it. I'm not exactly sure. A couple of them there where we were having issues with where you guys weren't able to see all of the windows that were popping up, and I'm going to re-record that using the lighting laptop on the other computer and a screen capture of that actual window to capture all those pop-ups so you guys can see all of the steps that I was going through to program into my lights. Coming up in late November, we're hopefully going to start getting into doing some rigging. We're going to look at trussing and mounting solutions and how do you hang up your lights after you've bought all these great lights and have spent all of this wonderful time programming them. We're going to show you how to mount them up correctly, how to do it safely, and to keep people from getting hurt. So that's a very important, that's going to be a very important series on that. Hopefully we'll have roughly about the same, I'm shooting for roughly 10 episodes. I think we're going to fall a little short on the lighting, but maybe we'll do a couple live setups of actually controlling lights with my rig, with my setup down in the garage. This coming weekend, I'm actually going to go fetch all of my gear, and I am not looking forward to this weekend, being that I have 2 full days of 14-hour driving to get back home. So hopefully, things will go smoothly and I won't have any mechanical issues with my vehicle, so that I make it home safely. But I think that about covers it for tonight. We're a few minutes early tonight, which is a good thing. We're a little ahead of schedule. It was a pretty easy lesson tonight. As always, I hope you guys be sure to comment down below the video, just so I got an idea of what you guys are liking, what you're not liking, what topics you want me to cover. If there's some stuff that you guys are curious about with DMX lighting and how to do it, be sure to put those comments in the comment section below the video here, so that I get a little feedback as to what you guys are liking, what you're not liking, so we can strive to make the channel better for you, the DJ or lighting, or whoever you are that you're just watching this video with the hopes of learning some new information. So I'm always striving to make the videos better any way that I can. So if you have suggestions, please, by all means, I'd love to hear them, good, bad, or ugly. Now, the ugly ones we'll probably ignore, but, we'll take any criticism, to heart and try to do whatever we can to make the show better. And with that, I suppose I shall say good night for tonight, and we shall see you again next week. What is the date next week? The next week is November 2nd, the 2nd of November. In December, just as a FYI, the first week of December, the 1st of December actually, I will not, or not the 1st, the 30th of November, the end of November, sorry. We will not be doing a show. I will be away that night for my brother's wedding. So I will not be available for the show. We may pre-record one and post it Tuesday or Monday, somewhere in there maybe, but we will not be doing one live. So just a heads up for the 30th of November. As we get closer to the holidays, however, all bets are off. The holiday schedule may affect our show schedules. I will try to keep you guys posted as to what's happening with that as we get a little closer. I do know that I will be out of town the week between Christmas and New Year's, so that may again affect our show, and hopefully we will either pre-record a show and just post it, or catch up when we come back from the holiday break. So until then, I hope you guys stay out of trouble and enjoy all of the great new features that you're learning to program with your lights. And again, if you have any comments, be sure to comment on below. As always, I'm your host, DJ Michael Shilson. So long.